Everything you know about lightning is backwards. Rainbows don't exist. And one of these myths has been killing people for centuries. 7 facts almost everyone gets completely wrong, and the last one will change how you see the sky above your head forever. Almost everyone thinks lightning always hunts for the tallest object nearby, that if you're shorter than the tree next to you, you're safe. That's mostly wrong. Lightning follows the path of least electrical resistance, which is usually the tallest object, but not always, and the exceptions are what get people killed. Here's how it actually works. A bolt doesn't simply fall from the cloud. A faint channel of ionized air, called a stepped leader, descends invisibly from the cloud, branching downward in roughly 150-foot segments, probing for the easiest path. At the same time, a return stroke rises from the ground to meet it, often from an object that isn't even the tallest thing around. The two connect in milliseconds, and that connection is what you see as the flash. Lightning routinely hits flat open ground, water, and crouching people, while taller trees 10 yards away stay completely untouched. Here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. A bolt is only about as wide as a thumb, but the superheated air around it reaches roughly 54,000 degrees Fahrenheit, about 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. The shelter under the biggest tree myth got people killed for centuries. A tall, isolated tree is one of the worst places you can stand in a storm. And the next myth is something weather forecasters have to correct every single year because people stake their lives on it. Almost everyone believes tornadoes can't hit cities, that buildings break them up, or that rising heat from concrete and asphalt steers them away. That is completely false. And it's genuinely dangerous to believe. Downtown Oklahoma City has been struck by tornadoes multiple times. The 2011 Joplin, Missouri tornado, rated EF5, the highest category on the scale, cut directly through a dense urban area, killing 161 people and destroying a hospital. Confirmed tornadoes have touched down in parts of New York City. Miami has been hit. The myth does not hold up to even basic scrutiny. The myth exists purely because cities cover a tiny fraction of total land area, so statistically, most tornadoes hit rural ground. That's probability, not protection. The tornado does not know or care what's beneath it. The wind inside a mature EF5 tornado can exceed 300 miles per hour, and the pressure drop at its core is so violent, it can cause sealed buildings to explode outward. And what comes next makes even a tornado look almost slow. Most people think rivers of lava are what makes a volcanic eruption deadly. Lava kills very few people. You can often walk faster than it moves. Basaltic lava flows, like those in Hawaii, typically advance at a few hundred yards per hour at most. You have time. The real killers are pyroclastic flows, superheated avalanches of gas, ash, and rock fragments that race down a volcano's slopes at speeds up to 450 miles per hour and reach temperatures around 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. You cannot outrun one. You cannot hide from one inside a building. The heat and ash penetrate almost any structure within seconds, and you get almost no warning before it arrives. When Vesuvius erupted in 79 AD, pyroclastic flows buried Pompeii and Herculaneum. Herculaneum, closer to the volcano, was engulfed in under 2 minutes. The victims had no chance to flee. Their bodies were preserved almost perfectly in the hardened ash, still frozen in the positions they held when the flow hit. Pyroclastic flows are the deadliest single thing a volcano can produce. And the next myth on this list sounds almost harmless, right up until you realize how many people stake their lives on it every winter. Almost everyone thinks avalanches are triggered by loud sounds, a shout, a gunshot, even a sonic boom. Hollywood invented this, and real avalanche scientists have been correcting it for decades. Sound waves carry almost no physical force, nowhere near enough to shift a snowpack that can weigh millions of pounds. A snowpack isn't waiting to be startled. It's a structural problem, not an acoustic one. Real avalanches are triggered by physical stress. A skier crossing a weak, buried snow layer. A sudden temperature spike that softens the bonding between layers, or the sheer weight of fresh snowfall pushing the whole stack past a tipping point. Rescue teams use explosives in avalanche control zones, not because of the noise, but because the shockwave physically disturbs the ground and snow layers beneath the surface, triggering a slide before anyone is in the path. And the next myth is one people repeat confidently every year, even though the science flatly disagrees. Almost everyone thinks the northern lights only appear in the dead of winter, during the coldest and darkest nights of the year. That's wrong. And the real reason has nothing to do with temperature. Auroras happen whenever charged particles from the sun, carried on what's called the solar wind, slam into Earth's magnetic field and excite oxygen and nitrogen atoms in the upper atmosphere. Those atoms release that energy as colored light. This process happens year-round, every single month, including July. You mostly see them in winter because the sky is finally dark enough. Near the poles in summer, the sun barely sets. The aurora is happening overhead, but daylight completely washes it out. It's there. You just can't see it. Here's the detail almost nobody knows. Auroras aren't fully silent. Researchers in Finland confirmed in 2012 that auroras produce faint, crackling, and clapping sounds at ground level, caused by electrical discharge in an atmospheric temperature inversion layer about 230 feet above the ground. People had reported hearing them for centuries. Scientists finally proved it. And the next myth may be the most dangerous misconception on this entire list. Almost everyone thinks earthquakes are rare or dramatic events, something you'd definitely notice if one happened near you. The planet has roughly 500,000 detectable earthquakes every single year, according to the USGS. About 100,000 of those are strong enough for a person to physically feel. Only around 100 cause real damage. The other 399,900 are happening right now, under your feet, and you have absolutely no awareness of any of them. And the Richter scale, which almost everyone references when talking about earthquake strength, was effectively replaced decades ago. Scientists now use the moment magnitude scale, which more accurately measures energy release across the full range of quake sizes. The Richter scale was never designed to measure large or distant earthquakes, and it quietly stopped being the standard in the 1970s. Most people have no idea. Scientists have spent decades testing whether animals can reliably predict earthquakes, and found no consistent, reproducible evidence that they can, despite dozens of serious controlled studies. The anecdotes are real. The predictive ability is not. The Earth is in a near constant low-level tremor. We've simply learned to tune out. And the last myth on this list is the most visually stunning correction of all, because what you think you're seeing in the sky literally does not exist as a physical object. Almost everyone thinks a rainbow is a fixed object sitting in the sky, something you could walk toward and eventually reach. A rainbow has no location at all. It isn't a thing. It's an optical effect that exists only relative to your exact position and the sun's angle behind you. Walk toward where the rainbow appears to be and it retreats at exactly the same rate, because what you're seeing is light bending inside millions of individual water droplets at a precise 42-degree angle to your eye. Move your eye, and the entire set of droplets forming your rainbow changes. No two people ever see the same rainbow. You and the person standing next to you are each looking at a completely different set of droplets, angled precisely to your own eyes. Your rainbow is mathematically yours alone. No one else can see the one you're seeing. And a pot of gold? A rainbow is mathematically a full circle. The horizon just cuts off the bottom half. Pilots flying above the clouds can sometimes see the complete ring. It has no ends, no beginning, and no fixed location anywhere in space. It never did. And now that you know that, you genuinely cannot unsee it. 7 myths. And the most surprising part is how confidently we all repeated them. Drop in the comments which one genuinely shocked you. People always land on a different answer, and the debate is always worth reading. If this made you rethink something, subscribe to Turns Out. We find the real story behind the things you thought you already knew. Which of these myths did you believe the longest?